I remember when I first got, when I was pregnant, I felt sorry for like women, they got to go back to work after they have the baby, and I'm going to be, I was like, man, I need somewhere to go.
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
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 Hey, Mom.
What's up? Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Hey. Welcome back to another episode of Moms Actually, where motherhood meets
Sisterhood. Yes.
On today's episode, we are talking about postpartum mental health and what that looks like.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump right in. We do It's Giving Motherhood, the rapid fire. And so I want you guys to grab your paddles. If you're new to this little corner over here, the way we do it is they have a couple seconds. We all have a couple seconds to answer. After I read off the questions, gold means yes, white means no. First answer is the right answer, okay? Yeah. All right. So did you have postpartum depression? Did you have postpartum anxiety? Have you ever gone to therapy?
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable being honest about your mental health with friends? I'm gonna be in the middle on that one. Yeah. Do you feel comfortable being honest about your mental health with your spouse?
Definitely.
No.
Yeah, okay. Did you feel shame about your mental health?
Yes.
Did you feel supported in your mental health in the 4th trimester?
By my husband. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be on the middle on that. Do you have any outlet to protect your mental health?
Yes. Now.
Yeah. I feel like we all have to think about these, right?
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay, so this is a heavy topic, so we definitely want to even really just warn you before we start. It could be a trigger warning. It could be just something that is a little bit difficult. So we do want to just, acknowledge that as we speak, because I think as we were doing this rapid fire, even though it's a lighthearted game, these weren't lighthearted questions. So what stuck out to you? Like, I feel like each one I really had to think about it. Was there one that you were like, ooh?
I feel like every single one. I was
Yeah.
I think because both of my postpartums were so different. The first one, new to motherhood, so I didn't really know what to expect. And then we talked about it in one of the episodes that I didn't really have a support because I was one of the first of my friends to have a kid. So that kind of made it a little bit different. And then two, the first kid, I was very shameful. So to ask my husband for support or even tell him how I was feeling. So.
I agree.
I just wasn't prepared for it. And my husband tried to. He's like, when you're gonna have the baby, you're gonna need help, and you're gonna need this. And I took it like as an affront. Like, you think I'm not gonna be able to handle it? I'm not gonna, I won't need any of that stuff. And because I thought of postpartum as postpartum depression in the fact that what happens is I have my kids and I want to drown them or I want to drive them off a cliff. And I'm just like, I can't imagine feeling like that. Like, I know it's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be a lot, but I have balanced crazy things. And then I have the baby and I feel nothing and I feel work. And I'm like, well, now I need all the help, but if you know women and wives, it's very hard to tell your husband he's right. He's right, especially in the 4th trimester.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things that I have heard you reference often is the PPA, which a lot of us, we always hear about PPD, but I will say it was one of the first times I really heard that reference to a lot. Do you mind just explaining what that was for you?
So I had postpartum anxiety, and I didn't even realize it till I read an article about Chrissy Teigen explaining what happened to her after she had her child. So I wasn't sad, I wasn't weepy, I didn't need to cry, anything like that. I just got anxious all the time. Like, when it would near the evening and it was getting to be bedtime for the baby, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to wake up every 2 hours. Even if I had help, someone, my husband or a family member or someone volunteering to help us with the baby at night, I knew I had to pump every 2 hours, especially with the first child, because I was like, I can't go to formula. I'm gonna be judged and this formula stinks and I want my baby to have the best experience or what have you. So I knew no matter what, I'd have to wake up every 2 hours. I only produced about 1 ounce from each boob, so it was like very difficult. Then I'd wake up and I'm like, okay, the baby's already up and I gotta make, 6 bottles and I have to do this, and I would just get so overwhelmed to like paralysis. And then I felt trapped in the house. Like I just felt anxious about every single hour that was gonna come up in the day. And it was just, I had never heard of that. And I'd never experienced anxiety like that before. I'd had, work anxiety or like small little things, but it was
like overdrive.
It was
constant.
Overpowering.
I think I struggled a little bit with that as well. I didn't think about it until now, but like I struggled with the idea that my kid was gonna die in his sleep. So like I would sleep outside.
I still check if they're breathing.
I still check if they're breathing. But I literally would sleep by his crib and just like it felt like every hour I would wake up and like, is he breathing? Is he breathing? Kind of thing. So
I think too though, the hospitals kind of scare you. I know that the SIDS is a thing, like it absolutely is, but sometimes I think the hospitals could do a better job with how they prepare us to go home, because we just had a baby. There was some thing on social media I saw where the nurse is prepping the mom to go home, and they're like, so make sure
do this, but not
do this, and not this. I know that you're really tired. Make sure you get some rest, but also I'm gonna bother you every 30 minutes to make sure that you're not out, over bleeding. Oh, and then don't pick your baby up, but then make sure you also give it skin to skin. Like, what? It's overwhelming. So you're going home anxious because you feel like I need to pay attention to everything,
especially
little
as a new
thing.
parent.
Yeah, I felt anxious. So I was doing the same thing. Like I wasn't co-sleeping. Sometimes, of course, naturally you fall asleep with the baby in your arms, but I would literally like check. And my first daughter, she was born with a lot of fluid still like inside of her, so she would gag. So I would wake up and she would be like on her back like gagging. So I could not sleep because I was like, oh my gosh, what if I'm knocked out? And then I felt like I would be less of a mom because I was sleeping and she's choking.
And I can see the articles now. I like,
and it makes it feel like mom was taking a nap while,
stuff we've done or experienced, and it's like, it just goes bad for somebody, and then all of a sudden it's national news and they're a terrible parent. It's scary.
That's hard.
Yeah.
So Blair, I have a question for you.
I have an answer maybe for you.
So how long did it take you to fully overcome any postpartum health difficulties, if you had any?
I would say it took about, I know they talk about the 4th trimester, and that's the 3 months after you have the baby. But I would say it took me about 6 or 7 months, because I had to also adjust. I had never changed a diaper before. I'd never babysat before. I didn't have siblings, cousins. This was a new foray for me. And then we have always, we've worked from home for a long time, so I'm home with the baby nonstop. I remember when I first got, when I was pregnant, I felt sorry for like women, they gotta go back to work after they have the baby, and I'm gonna be, I was like, man, I need somewhere to go. So it's like living a Groundhog's Day, and it took a while to get adjusted. It stopped, once I stopped pumping, once I finally found a formula that worked for me, that's what changed it, because I could finally sleep. And I didn't have to like every 2 hours carry this pump with me and worry about if my daughter was getting enough nutrition. And so I'd say when I had to stop breastfeeding, that's what changed it for me. Yeah,
I would say what was interesting for me is I did not experience any type of postpartum depression or anxiety with my first 2. So I'm thinking, I'm good. That boy came, and that is when I thought I was going to lose my mind. And even after like those couple months, because with postpartum depression, it can come and go. And so it's 1 minute you're fine, you're completely fine, and you're like, I made it out, it's been a couple months. And I remember my son was almost a year old, and I had like an episode where I remember being in the grocery store, and I went into a full daze. I was in the middle of the aisle, I just started weeping. Sorry, y'all. And it was so much going on. And I was like, I just want to get out of here. Like I started like panting, and people were just passing me by. No one saw me. And so it made it worse, because then I felt, gosh, and no one sees me. like no one sees me like having a hard time right now. Oh, sorry.
Don't apologize for your feelings. And you know
No one sees me, and at the time, like people were blowing my phone up, asking me for like things, and so I'm like, is this what motherhood is? Like I thought I had this down pat. I've been a mom since I was 20 years old, like, and this baby wants to come and wreck my whole like thought of what motherhood is, and it stinks because I kept apologizing to people for how I was feeling and how I was reacting, and even saying like, oh, I'm out of the woods, and having to go back and say I'm not. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible.
I feel like my first experience that I had it was like, I just remember feeling like, how does life change so quickly? Like, I remember the second day I brought him home, my first son, and I was sitting on the bed with him, staring at him like, I just wish life could go back to the way it was. And it just like shocked me that I had those feelings, because I'm like, I'm so, like, there's just so much excitement around having a baby, all the feelings, but like the emotions that come with postpartum, it's like, it's either up here, you're so excited, or you're like low, and you don't know how to control how you feel. So you can like drop really low and be so sad. So I completely understand how you feel.
I didn't get to feel anything. Like when I gave birth, I literally felt nothing. Like, and I felt guilty for that. I'm like, oh, I need to show like I'm smiling, because your whole family's there and they're excited, and I'm just laying there both times with the baby on me, like,
and everybody's looking at you, like,
and I'm
waiting
like,
for your response.
And I'm just there. So now I'm like, oh, I don't feel anything. Is it wrong? I just felt like, okay, now I got to take care of this baby. And then you take a test or have to do all of these things for everything else in life. But this baby, even if they take it to the nursery, no manual, no test, no nothing. So even when they take it to the nursery, they still bring that baby back every 2 hours. And then, you know, you have to sleep, the baby has to sleep on its back in the hospital. All the time.
All the time, right.
You know,
My kids they slept on their stomach.
My babies like to sleep on their stomach. That's why I stay at the hospital, because they need to see that. And the baby ain't comfortable. They're in this like plastic bin. And of course, it's just so hard. So you just gave birth. You just went through this traumatic event, mentally, emotionally, physically, and then you have to take care of the baby.
Yes, and that's my thing. Like making sure.
So I thought the same thing as you. I was like, can I give it back? Just for like a little bit.
One of the things that I really wanted to ask you guys is, once you realized that you were going through, postpartum, did you reach out for help? Did you go to the doctor? Were you okay with them prescribing medicine and you actually taking it? Like, was that anything that you guys dealt with?
I think because I was so ashamed, I never really got to that point where I reached out for help. You know, I told my husband that like I was struggling mentally, but that's as far as it went. I just suffered through it alone. I had so many responsibilities, you know. I was a stay-at-home mom. You know, my husband worked outside the home, so he was always gone. At the time, we were doing college ministry, so we were around college-age kids. Like, we lived in the dorms with the college kids. So they were in and out of my house, and I still had to raise this baby. So like, I had to show up for them, smile for them, and make sure that I was showing, being present with them, but also, still tending to this kid. So I just really just kind of faked it till I made it, really.
Ooh, and that's a good point. So you already had 2 kids. So how did you balance going through your postpartum while raising 2 kids who have no idea and need mommy to be mommy?
That was rough, because I was so glazed over after a certain point. I felt like I couldn't connect with anybody at that point, not even my kids. I did have to be mindful. So I think the only thing that kept me going was them, because they were the daily reminder that I had to keep going. But other than that, I had to talk to myself all day and say, Morgan, you still got to keep going. Like, it's not their fault that you had a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't they didn't do this. And they don't understand either, because I don't understand. I don't even understand what I'm going through. So how can I expect for them to understand? So it was just that daily reminder of just do the things. And then communication with my husband, letting him know, like, hey, I can't today. There were times where I literally had to say, I can't do any of this today. I need you to take it. And I would just stay in my room all day, in the dark, not do a thing. I would, at that point, I was on formula and I wasn't breastfeeding anymore. So I was like, I don't want to see anybody. That stunk.
Yeah, my husband was good at getting, because I told him, and then I think he was really worried, because again, people think postpartum is like, you want to kill your baby. So no matter what I was telling him, or myself. So I think no matter what I was telling him, he thought it was probably like I was holding back. So I know he was like telling his mom and, you know, other people. So they were like helping out, which really helped. But I felt shame because I didn't get to say how I really felt, and I was ashamed to tell how I felt. So I'm just thinking like, oh, these people are all around me thinking I want to like hurt my baby or hurt myself. So I would try to like do more to show I was okay. Like, I can sit in the living room still. Like, even though you guys are willing to help, like do extra stuff. But with my son, because now I had this daughter who I had to wake up for and wanted attention or whatever, I told myself if it does not bring me joy, because I was prepared to have that again. I said, if it doesn't bring me joy, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not doing it. I ended up getting help with him overnight. We had some great people from our church, 2 girls that would like switch nights and like come from 7 p.m. to 11 a.m. We had someone that would come in on Saturdays and Sundays and just come from like 8 to 12 so we could sleep in a little bit. Just a lot of community to help us, because I would be honest, I tell people I'm not really a fan of babies. I don't really like them until they're about 18 months, you know, like when I can communicate a little bit better. And just trying to be, I was a lot more honest, and I did things to not show that I had it together. I did things to actually be together.
Oh, that's good. And I love that we're in that phase now. I think a lot of women are in the space where we're no longer we naturally people please. Like you even saying like, I was trying to do things just so that people didn't look at me differently or even feel uncomfortable being in my house because they're trying to take care of my kid, you know, or trying to help. And I'm out here, you know, forcing myself to be a part when I really don't feel like it. And I think that I love that we're redefining that. Like we're redefining doing things on other people's terms or just to please people or just to nurture people. Like we are actually doing things for us. That feels good.
We deserve it.
Because you can love yourself, your children, and your husband much better when you're doing it from the right vein.
I agree. Totally agree. Did you, either one of you ever, you said you never considered like medicine or anything like that. I did, y'all. I was like to the point where I knew that if I didn't get some help, I didn't even think the therapy would work. That's how bad it was. And because it kicked in after. So we've kind of like naturally talked about the fact that when you go for your 6-week checkup, they do this very simple, silly little survey. How you feeling? You good? All right, great. It's like 5 questions. And so at the time, I was fine. I was good. So then I was like, well, I'm 3 to 6 months after the baby, and now is when I'm feeling it. I don't know that I can say I don't even know the doctor isn't going to believe me. And 2, I don't know that where I'm at in this place is going to help with me talking to somebody, because I actually don't want to talk to anybody. I did try the medicine though, and I felt even more like a zombie. Oh wow. Yeah, so I literally used to like look at myself in the mirror. I felt like I was on.
Did you give your body time to adjust to it?
I tried. They told, and they warned me. They said, you know, you're gonna feel a little awkward at first. I really tried, but I almost felt worse because I really felt like it was like making me a robot. So I felt like I would be, we joke in our private time about my slow processing. Oh my gosh, I would literally be telling my brain, like if I'm in a crowd of people and you know somebody's laughing and joking, I would literally say, Morgan, laugh. Oh wow. Like just to feel, you know, I was like, oh no.
That's not for
No. So I remember like I dumped it and was like, okay, God, this is where I'm gonna tap into you because this whole time I really haven't prayed. You know, I've been numb.
Yeah.
So I said, this is where I need you to come in because I can't do either one of these.
Yeah.
And that helped. You guys?
I think prayer was one of the biggest things that pulled me out of it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get on medicine because I was so ashamed, but I had to go before the Lord and surrender that to Him. Like, Lord, I cannot do this with my own strength. Like, this is something that I just can't do. And once I surrendered it to the Lord, He just gave me like a strength to make it through and push through and be able to communicate like, babe, I can't do this right now. Please just, here you go. My husband's so supportive anyways, but just communicating even more, like, right now is not the time. Like, I just take the baby.
Just take the baby.
Oh gosh.
But prayer, like you said, it really helps. Like, it really truly gives you the strength to operate out of abundance and not out of scarcity.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I think it was a reminder that no matter how low I get, He can really pull me up. Like, God can really pull you out of the trenches whenever you feel your lowest.
And with your second son, you had a better experience.
The
How
best experience.
Yes.
So it's still kind of like traumatizing, the first one, but the second born, that experience was so beautiful. It was so peaceful, and the support that I had, the way that I had confidence to communicate how I was feeling when I felt down, and to be able to go to my girlfriends, my mom village, and be like, I need help. And they would pull up. They would come, do my laundry, cook me food. They would just come hold my babies, rock them. Anything I needed, I had. So even though one experience may feel like you can't get up out of bed, it's dark, there's a season where you may have another experience where the birth, everything is just so much more joyful. So.
I think it's hard because no one prepares you for it. They just like, you have this baby and you see everybody smiling. It's like,
So
how do I now
excited.
mentally prepare to have a child? I would say I mean, your third child, you weren't, but for
I
our
was
second
not.
child, we
I was
were,
not.
because you hadn't experienced it. But once you experience it, you kind of know what to put in place
expect.
the next time.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you're going into the first child, you're
What
going
do
in
I
blind.
do?
There's
You're like, what do I
they
do?
give you breathing like there's just so much.
What's this
stuff.
breathing gonna do? It's after.
Actually, I needed to take that breathing class because I hyperventilated with my first. So take the class.
Take the class. Well, y'all, I feel like this is a great time for us to even just kind of pivot into our letter. Blair, where can they email us if they want to do the same?
If you have any questions or need any advice, email us at heyma@momsactually.com.
Yeah, what's our letter?
Hey Ma, I'm currently 6 months postpartum and I can't seem to shake the feeling of wanting to run away from everything. I don't find joy in mothering. I don't find joy in being around my family, friends, or my kids. I don't recognize myself. I'm finding myself either shrinking completely or lashing out. It is taking a toll on my relationship, both my husband and my friends. I'm considering going to the doctor because I finally recognize that the things I'm experiencing could be signs of postpartum depression. I am nervous because I'm worried the doctors won't believe me or they'll try to stick me on medication. Have you experienced this? Any tips what to do? I mean, first, I know medication didn't work for you, but I don't like the negative connotation around medicine. I mean, we take it for a headache. We take it when we're, sick. I think there's different forms of medicine. I don't think we should be afraid of it. I think you talk to a professional, you pray to God, and you decide what's best for you because it works differently for everybody, and they adjust it based on you. And it might not be for Morgan, but it may be for the person.
And I think there's a shame that society has kind of like connected with taking meds. I was open to doing the medicine. I literally told the doctor, give me the medicine because I don't know that me talking to anybody is going to help at this point. So but I will say I was definitely kind of nervous to tell people that I'm on meds. Like that
There's a connotation.
It's a negative connotation.
But I think now with social media and people being so much more open,
Yes, that has helped.
I feel like it's been really helpful for moms who are struggling with that anxiety or depression to get help and seek meds, because I have a few moms that I know that are on meds, and obviously they don't want to be on meds, but they know that they need it, and they're very open about sharing their experience and their journey about it. So
I think it's important. I think that's important because you feel like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one that has to pop this pill in the morning, you know, to get up and get going. It helps, it's encouraging.
But overall, I would just be completely honest. That's besides only doing what brought me joy, I was able to do that because I was completely honest. I just started speaking my truth, no matter how awkward it is. And when you first start it, you're telling your truth, but you kind of follow it up with, but I love my baby. Like you feel like you have to follow. But the more I said it, the more I'd hear other, me too. I feel that way. Or thank you. Like until you bring it up, someone else may not bring it up. My sister-in-law loves to say, free people, free people. And the moment you free yourself of that shame or walk in it and like you're comfortable, like I feel the shame, but I'm still gonna say it because it can help somebody. Oh my gosh, it changes the conversation and someone now is able to get help or go into a situation much better.
And in speaking of like helping other people, I think that she mentioned just the fact of her lashing out and it affecting her relationships and, you know, her husband. And honestly, a lot of times what I noticed in that time period is they wanted to help. They just didn't know how because I wasn't communicating.
People giving you your space, like, oh, I don't want to overstep.
Yeah, and so then, and because I was lashing out, I wasn't ever lashing out and like saying, I would get mad over something totally different, like something so left field. And so then they're confused. And then I feel like if I would have just said, y'all, I'm struggling, they would have done anything they could, especially my husband. I know that like as soon as I did finally tell him what I was going through, he was like, he was actually making sure I made the appointment, like checking up. I know you said you were gonna do this today. Did you do it? Do you need me to call? You know, it was just a matter of communicate, girl. Communicate. That is like the biggest key. And even if you feel like you can't, know that the people in your corner, you don't have to say much.
That's true.
You'll just be able to say just enough so that they can come to your rescue and help you.
That's true.
I love that.
That's all I got for her. Yes. You know, do you guys have any other information for her? Or you feel like, I mean, we talked so much about this letter. I feel like this was kind of meant to be, but because we said so many things that I'm hoping that if you've been watching this whole time, that it has helped you and kind of freed you a little bit. But yeah, I think this has been a good episode, y'all.
One more gem.
Yes.
I think I think it's important to remember, like, because you both are parents, that you're learning together and that you're on the same team. Because I feel like a lot of times we forget that our spouse is wanting to help us and be on the same team as us, and so we get resentful. Because I know for me, sometimes I would be like, "Ooh, just do it," like, or like I can just do it myself because you just don't know how to do it the way I do it. Yeah, so just like be just
like if you were gonna help me, like
and it's like,
done
hey, I'm trying to figure this out too.
I was very resentful.
So just let your significant other just be there for you and support you and love you through all your emotions, all your feelings. So
I agree. This is good. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really hope that you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share with another mama. Thanks for tuning in to Moms Actually, where motherhood meets sisterhood. Bye. See y'all next week.
Hey, Mom.